So where does this military buildup lead us, and what's its overall goal? I, for one, do not believe that this is about drug interdiction. And I understand that the president, this just out from CNN, like I did the video yesterday, saying that Trump considering plans to target cocaine facilities inside Venezuela, officials said. There are plans on the table that the president is considering regarding operations on targets inside Venezuela, and one administration told CNN, adding that he hasn't ruled out diplomacy. This just goes hand in hand with his overall Monroe Trump doctrine. We've seen the military assets that we put around Mexico, rivet joints, Poseidons, destroyers, Stryker Brigade, Predator drones. What we're seeing now is a buildup that can only mean we're going to have kinetic action. It's not just going to be against Venezuela. This is going to be against Colombia and anyone else in that region. The goal being to precipitate the fall of Maduro and the Colombian regime. After the president of Colombia came to the United States and in New York asked United States military personnel to disobey the commander-in-chief. So what is this all about? Yes, this is all about oil. This is all about the access to oil unencumbered in the event of conflict with China, blockades in the Middle East, their projection of power. When they begin to project their power, and they're already starting to do so in many ways with their sale of J-10 fighters, possible J-35 fighters to Pakistan. We've already seen Pakistani pilots training on J-35s in China. Stealth technology going all over the world. The ability to secure the supply lines is absolutely paramount for the United States. What are those supply lines? Well, we can produce enough domestic energy for our own consumption. In order to power a war machine, we're going to need a lot more than what we can domestically produce. We would need imports. We would need secured imports. The Caribbean is about as secured as it's going to get. Just bring up some Google Maps here. Let's have some map fun, because one of my favorite things in the world is messing with maps. The president wants to make that essentially an American sea. It's already the Gulf of America. He basically wants this to be the American Sea. This would secure our oil supply, domestic and import, on a 2,000-mile journey. Again, I love maps. Maps are so much fun. So let's have some map fun. Persian Gulf, Texas City, 8,000-mile journey. The president is securing natural resources from blockade, from sanction, from conflict. We see what the Houthis have done, and the expenditure in weapons there has been in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's just the Houthis. Iran could absolutely cause a lot of trouble. Would they stop it entirely? Of course not. Of course not. The U.S. Navy would knock them down within no time. But that in itself would put a drag on oil prices. And our supply lines to and from a conflict in China or in the Pacific Rim, 7,500 miles to Australia. 9,000 miles to the base that is supposed to house the AUKUS submarines, the Virginia-class submarines that are supposed to be sold to Australia in the 2030s to give them a nuclear submarine option. Will they ever get it? Probably not. But we're talking about supply lines that are enormous. Absolutely enormous. And frankly, with a belligerent China, with their ballistic missile and their hypersonic missile technology, along with their growing deep water, blue water navy. Yes, they do have a blue water navy forming. Do they have one as of this moment? The start of one. And the rapid expansion of their Air Force. And their Space Force, for that matter. The ability to just simply secure a 2,000-mile pipeline, which is essentially what it would be. Let's bring that up. Essentially, it's just a 2,000-mile pipeline. Oh, let's get rid of that. Clear measurement. From Texas City to Venezuela, 2,000 miles in what would be a protected area. So what you see the president doing is the creation of a Western hemispheric lock on natural resources. The prevention of foreign powers. This is why it goes very much with the Monroe Doctrine, which has been a theme of this channel since its start. The Monroe Doctrine is that no foreign power shall set up base colonies in this hemisphere. This directly stops that. So are we on our way to another war? Possibly. I think it's more likely than not. What are the reasons? Well, someone could say that strategically, the reasoning is far more valid than it is when we went into the Middle East, into Iraq. In World War II, Venezuela was one of the largest suppliers of oil to the Allies and the United States. Along with our domestic production and Venezuelan production and Colombian production, we would be self-sustaining in any conflict. And yes, any conflict would still have to run on oil. You're not going to have battery-powered much. So what is the strategic plan of all this? Why this buildup in the Latin American area and the Caribbean Sea? It's to secure our natural resources in this hemisphere for our need should it arise. This is why Greenland has also been on the table. We saw what happened with the Panama Canal. The forced purchase of the ports on the Caribbean side of the Panama Canal by interests that were not Chinese. And what is it that we did? Shortly thereafter, we docked one of our cruisers that is now on station in that Caribbean Sea off of Venezuelan coast in those ports in Panama. A lot of people think that what the president does is reckless. And you hear a lot of on the other side saying that it's 4D chess. In this instance, I think what you're seeing is more 4D chess than flailing around. And I can't believe I'd say this. Strategically, it's the sound and right move to do. I'm not pro-war. And it's my hope that the people of Venezuela can peacefully cast off Maduro and Colombia can do the same with their president. But it does appear that the alternative is more likely. And in a long-term strategic conflict, And make no mistake, this is a geopolitical conflict between China and the United States. The securing of natural resources will be of the utmost importance. And what we're doing today in 2025 will have a direct impact in years to come. I just wanted to kind of put that out there, that I see the strategic plan. I see the long-term vision that the president has. And it's hard to argue with on a strategic level. We'll see how it turns out. Thanks.